everybody, my name is Skylar and today Hello everybody, my name is gotta take the key out. Mind the gap. Hello everybody, my name is Skylar and today I'm finally getting around to it. I'm gonna show you guys an in-depth look at Scrap Circus, baby. So yeah, I will admit, I'll be the first one to admit, yes, I kind of hella procrastinated this video, and I apologize, but hopefully this in-depth look will make up for it. If you're more just wanting to see the whole costume, you can go ahead and skip to, I think this is the time it will be when I'm just showing off the suit up and kind of thing, but if you're wanting to see the up-close stuff, I'm gonna attempt to do like a chapters thing on this video for each like segment of Circus Baby, so just feel free to like click around if you want, but make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Anyway, let's get a closer look here. Ugh. That's her, alright. Alright, so first up I just wanted to kind of show you guys how she looked on the mannequin stand real fast. I just think it looks really cool, and I can get like a little bit of like a 360 real fast. And there's the back of her head. Booty. And yeah. Don't worry guys, I will show off the entire thing put together. Currently her arms are on the floor because I don't really have a good way of connecting them and making it look cool. But yeah, let's get right into it, shall we? So we'll start off with the chest mechanism, because that is probably the reason why most of you are here. So when I think Circus Baby, I think like claw scooper ice cream arm, and essentially I wanted to figure out some way to incorporate that into her whole design. So I pretty much made it as thin as I possibly could, and then extended the front out a little ways to try to make it appear as small as possible. To be totally honest, it was just a ton of trial and error. But yeah, so it's all held together with magnets and some little hinge straps. So this door here opens up. It's just got a magnet right here, and a little strap right there. Eagle-eyed viewers will realize that this fan is from the little FNAF 1 fan that I used to have. And I actually used quite a few, I like recycled quite a few parts in this costume, and I'll probably point out a few more as we go. But yeah, so this can kind of just like free swing like that, or if I line it up just right, it'll stay closed. As you can see, there is a little ice cream cone in here to kind of be like, hey child, come a little closer. And I hid a little flashlight right here. It's just like right there. And it's just a little push button flashlight, and it kind of like illuminates the ice cream a little bit more. And I just think it looks cool. Plus, with the fan like that, you can kind of see the light on the ice cream shining through the little gap here. Alright, so I guess the best way to kind of show it off is to just show it off. So essentially what I would do to activate it is I would just kind of like flex my belly forward a little bit. Basically, with this costume I kind of have to walk around holding my gut in a little bit, and if I kind of just like flex it out, it pops the magnets, and that's how it opens. So essentially, once the magnets pop, it just uses gravity, and these sections right here, there's magnets up and down this middle bit. It'll split, and then right here there is more magnets that will also split with the force of it being popped open, and they'll just sort of swing out to the side like this, and it'll reveal this like mouth, like maw section. And then this is the claw, and essentially when I pop it open, it would use gravity to push itself forward, because there is a weight on the end of this, and it would land about there, and then it extends itself, basically with me leaning forward. So, yeah. And with the claw protruding, it makes this whole maw section look way more ominous, because it's just like a black void. Plus, on the inside, I wear a black morph suit, and essentially it makes it so you can't see like me in there, essentially. And yeah, so here it is from the front. I think it looks pretty wild. I did want these to kind of look like spikes and stuff, so I like enhanced the inside of them with some popsicle sticks and like some conduit tubing, and then I painted a ton of it silver, added these teeth. There's actually 2 support beam structure bar things right here, but they're painted black so you can't see them very well. And then the rest of this is all just the hodgepodge of conduit tubing and a few other things. And yeah, so this claw is made of a old toy lightsaber, so it can extend like that. It can pop out, but it doesn't normally. At least when I wear it, it only extends to about this far, because this cable here that is attached to the front piece and the back piece essentially keeps it from overextending. And yeah, gravity. So, eagle-eyed viewers will recognize this 3 claw pieces as the ones from my old Fun Time Innard cosplay that I did for the I Can't Fix You music video. And yeah, I still have it, and I recycled the pieces into this claw. And I put a little bolt with some metal weights on this bottom piece, and it is attached via a tiny little hinge right here, so that it can fold as flat as possible, but then when it opens, it will automatically open with gravity. So yeah, to put it away, all I do is I just fold this up, lift that up, drop it down, kind of make sure it doesn't accidentally fall out a second time, and then I just sort of grab this bottom piece and this bottom piece and use the ends to kind of bring in all of the pieces, like it kind of hooks it right here, and then all I have to do is make sure I hear the magnets click while I'm in the costume, and then kind of just pat it on the sides and like right here, and it makes sure it is all connected. Sometimes this piece likes to pop out. To be 100% honest, that is an accident, but it looks cool. And you can see like some of the metal pieces on the inside. But like I said, kind of an accident, but it turned out really cool. And then same with this door kind of swinging freely when I walk. And it's suddenly like 3 weeks later. Procrastination really is a son of a bitch. Sorry about that. But yeah, let's take a look at the mask now. Whew. I hope you guys can't hear the AC because it is super hot in my apartment right now, and I had to turn off the main one just so that it didn't mess with the audio, so hopefully you guys can't hear my normal AC, but alrighty, so not a lot has changed with her head, to be totally honest, since my original showcase. I don't even remember how long ago that was. But I did change a couple things, so I figured I would just go over those parts real fast, and then if you want a closer look at the whole head, it's gonna just, you can go to that video. But essentially, her face opens up. These pigtails are attached to the faceplate, so when I'm wearing it, all I have to do is kind of like smack them with my hands, just like, ah, kind of a thing, and it'll pop it open, and it'll show off the endoskeleton underneath. Now, one of the things I did change was the paint job on the endoskeleton. I ended up making it a bit lighter of a silver, just because on the original one I think I made it a little too dark, and now it matches the silver better on the rest of the cosplay. And yeah, I'm actually quite happy with how her face turned out. I really like the oil drips coming out of her mouth and her eye, and then the back I think looks pretty cool. I did end up having to basically extend her faceplates out by about that much, so when I went back and changed everything, that was one of the big things I changed. And you can kind of tell because right here I had to add a couple more bits of fabric to sort of just hide the fact that I extended it a little bit. So basically it makes it look like her head or her endoskeleton sits further back in the mask than it used to, especially from the side here, because you can see there's like a physical gap. But yeah, enough of that, let's get into the cool parts. So if you guys are familiar with the book series, yes, I did kind of base this character's head off of the Eleanor character, but the rest of it was kind of just like a combo of all the iterations of Circus Baby that I knew of, and I kind of was like, I just want to make something I would consider all of them. I don't know. And yeah, so here's what the faceplate looks like. Ta-da! And my eagle-eyed viewers will notice that I added face saw blades. And yes, they come out like me from the face a little bit. It's really hard to see, but there is a bit of fishing wire right there connected to the faceplate that basically when this extends out, it pulls the saw blade piece out with it like that. Ta-da! And yes, she does look a little Terminator-esque, but I feel like that's just kind of the design I go with nowadays. My Springtrap has a really similar skull underneath, and my Anard one as well. And yeah, the blades can spin, but it's just a Lego. It's like Lego Technic pieces that I painted and glued together. So these are just little Lego gears, and you can kind of see it more once you realize it's Lego, because these are all Technic pieces. But I think the whole thing looks friggin' awesome. But yeah, the next piece we're gonna look at is the neck piece. Now, this is kind of a first for me, because with all my other cosplays, I would always just do almost like a t-shirt piece for my head to go through. I never really tried to fill the gap between the mask and my torso, so I decided to attempt something with this piece. And as you guys can see right here, this hole is big enough for my fat head to go through. Just leave that in, I don't care. But then to close the gap, I have this piece that has a lot of conduit tubing. It kind of all just goes up onto this black strap piece that is about the width of my neck. And then there are two hidden clips. One is right here, one is right here, and then there are some magnets. If you're surprised about the magnets at this point, you must be new here. And then there's also more magnets on the side here, so that when I do wear it, it kind of just clicks in place, like that. But yeah, so it's kind of just like a collar piece almost. The furry allegations are, you know what, just forget it, just forget it. But yeah, so it just sort of unclips, and I put it around my neck, click it back in, and then it just works. Next up is the right hand. Some of my OG subscribers probably recognize these fingers from my Funtime Mangle cosplay, though with this hand specifically, when I took the glove and modified it, it used to be the left hand. So now it is the right hand and only has 3 fingers. If you're wondering how I only have 3 fingers, it is simply because my other 2 fingers are attached to this little piece, and I just have to basically go like this with it. Now my thoughts behind this hand was I thought I could maybe put like a little panel on here, like a little button panel, to be like, ooh, press button. I decided against it just because there was already like a button panel on the arm, and like I wanted every piece to have something like unique about it. You know, I should probably do a tally of all of the old cosplay slash things, props that I used in this cosplay, because this was from Funtime Mangle. I used part of Jevel's head to make the base of Scrap Circus Baby's head. The claw is from my old Funtime Anard cosplay from like eons ago. Be more resembling to like just a sharp claw mouth thingamabob. And then it's got these little metal balls funny on it. I don't currently have any plans for this, but I might recycle it into something down the line. Even the claw is from my Reaper Afton cosplay's scythe, along with the old demon scythe as well, just cuz. And then now that I'm thinking about it, there's also the Glamrock Freddy legs, the Glamrock Freddy feet, and I think I used part of the staff's shoulder piece for part of her arm as well. So like, for real, there's like a dozen characters combined into this, and it's kind of like, when you think about it, the deep lore of Scrap Baby. She was made of a lot of garbage. I took old stuff and turned it into her, so it's like, the lore! Anyway. Next, we'll just take a look at both feet real quick. Starting with this one, I wanted it to kind of be like a mostly non-broken foot, just so that you guys kind of had like an idea of what like maybe she looked like when she was not all scrapped up and like destroyed and things. So I put it kind of like a jester sort of deal, so it's got like a little bell on the end, and then I did end up making it a little broken on this side, and I extended it up with a bunch of conduit tubing so that it kind of seamlessly blends in with the leg. Now with the other foot, I went the complete opposite direction and wanted to kind of show off what the endoskeleton might look like underneath. So I had this really cool plastic piece I got from I want to say it was like an Iron Man like gauntlet thing. I got it at a thrift store, but I just mostly bought it because it looked cool, like the shape. And I ended up using it right here, and it looks really good for like the top of a foot. And then I added a couple broken pieces, kind of like just being held on by other wires, along with that, and then this corner, and then the rest of it is all just conduit tubing. And then I also extended this conduit tubing up like the other foot so that it blends in with the legs. And now we have the right arm. So I wanted this one to be like a non-broken arm, just so that it's like only one side of the cosplay is like destroyed. Similarly to like how Spring Bonnie ended up looking like in the FNAF movie, which, to be honest, I think that was just a coincidence because I've been working on this cosplay forever, and I really wanted like each segment of the costume to kind of have like a little gimmick thing, but I didn't want to do anything like too crazy, so then the idea of having a panel that opens with something on the inside popped into my head, and I was like, that's such a good idea. Then I made this little door, and you can see there is a little doll hand sort of sticking out. It's glued in place, so it doesn't really move, but it's just sort of sticking out there. And then I added this little broken corner on here so that when I'm in the full cosplay, I can kind of reach over and like catch it with my big gloved hand and pop it open, and there's a mini arena inside. Technically it's just the top half of a mini arena, because I made it look like it's stuck inside of there. And yeah, it's just held together with magnets. Oh, I almost forgot. I used fairy lights to make her eyes work. Plus, I added a spring for the neck, so it's kind of like a little bobblehead almost, so that if I have this, when it's turned on, it'll be like shoved in here. But then when I open the door, her eyes will just be on, and I think it's quite cool. The way I did it is there's actually, you can barely see it, and I'm quite happy that you can't. There's like a hole in the back of her head that goes into the wall here, and then the rest of the fairy lights are all hidden. You can barely see it because I painted it black. There's like a piece right here where it's just like a hollow spot, and I just pretty much shoved the rest of all of those fairy lights in there. And then the last bit on this arm that I wanted to show off is the elbow. I'm actually quite happy with this because, like I said, with the neck piece, I was really wanting to kind of try to fill in all of those unnecessary gaps like I had with my Springtrap cosplay. And the way I did this was I just attached it via about 4 like super elastic straps, like more elastic than like the normal ones I use. So it's just connected by those, but because of that, when my arm is in there, it will push this bit out and like it just fills the gap in. So I'll kind of just give you guys a quick example with it on my arm. It sits about like here because there's a clip where it just sort of clips into the main torso. You can see it basically fills that gap. Plus I'll have like a black morph suit thing on underneath all of this, so you guys won't be able to see like my skin in the costume. And yeah, also with the paint, I liked to do a couple little like fun things to kind of be like, oh, there's like a scratch there. And then like, it's like oil dripping out of it as well. Now for the left arm, I went the complete opposite direction and wanted it to be basically completely destroyed. But I wanted to keep like a couple little pieces here on it, and then to kind of make them match a little bit, I added this little extra piece that sticks out to kind of be like, oh, the elbow joint is still attached to the other arm, but it's just like all janky and sticking out in the wrong spot now. And yeah, so this one's also connected via a clip to the main torso, and I added a tiny little button panel here, like in the original Circus Baby like arm location, I think. I don't know, maybe it was on the face. I don't know, I don't remember where it was, but I added it, it's right there. And then, like I said, it's majority conduit tubing, but I kind of wanted to add some like metal panel pieces, so some of my eagle-eyed viewers will recognize these 2 silver plate pieces as fortified staff arm pieces, but don't worry, just because I used part of the staff costume doesn't mean the staff characters aren't gonna reappear in the hole when Fake 'Em's knocking war, so don't worry about that. Oh, and one last thing I wanted to address with the claw of the cosplay is, yes, Scrap Baby's claw is on the right side, but Scrap Circus Baby's claw is on the left side. Some people on my TikToks were saying that it was incorrect, but it was on purpose, because I wanted there to be a difference. So with the conduit tubing being the majority of it, when it's not being worn, it is kind of like a straight piece, but when I do wear it, since it's got give to it, it doesn't affect the like motion of like my arm. So with this one, it goes on like so, and then the glove piece is actually what connects the claw to the rest of the cosplay. Speaking of, I might as well just show you the claw with the arm as well. So first we'll just take a look at the glove by itself. This is the entire piece. It is actually quite large. It's about the size of my arm, and I'm actually really happy with how this whole like mechanic thing of the claw turned out. So essentially, this hand is not the real hand, if that makes sense. It's kind of like a fake hand. This thumb is not my thumb. It is actually a piece designed to kind of hide this extra bit of conduit tubing for when the arm flips down in. Oh, fuck! For when the arm flips down into the claw, and then when it's the hand, you can barely tell that it's not my real thumb. If you're wondering where my real thumb goes, there's a joke there somewhere. It is actually hidden underneath to help with the mechanic of the glove. So the easiest way to show it is to just show it. So I'm gonna just do that for you real quick. So yeah, with me wearing it as a hand, the 4 fingers are my real fingers. This thumb is fake, and my real thumb is underneath holding on to this bar piece right here, which then goes past my hand and kind of loops around on the top part of it. And basically, the foam segment of this part ends right here, and then this is just fabric, so that allows it to bend when I have to flip it over to the claw mode. And to make it sort of blend in more with the arm, on this side of all of the claw pieces, I put like a ton of conduit tubing on it so that the blades kind of blend in. But then when I flip it out and down, I put only a little bit of conduit tubing on these pieces so you can see the entire blade, essentially. And then I added a little bit of conduit tubing here to kind of fill this gap as well. And yeah, the mechanic actually turns out really well. So I just sort of put the movable claw piece under my arm, and then I kind of just take my wrist and like hold it like this, and that basically keeps it shut, and I can like use my hand, point it around, do the jump scare thing, or pretty much use my hand to like close the chest mechanism or open the mini Rena bit on my other arm. But then if I want to have it be all spooky and cool, if I like flick my wrist the other way, I can make it look like the blade just sort of extends out of the arm, which I think looks so cool. I don't know. It's kind of just like, it makes zero sense for a Five Nights at Freddy's costume to just be like, whooshing! But I think it looks so cool to just have like a blade weapon she could use, that then when I flip it down and around turns into the claw. And then pretty much this is just a hinge right here, so all I gotta do is wiggle my hand and it opens and closes. Plus, with it like this, I can kind of make the arm look more broken, because I can kind of like flip it around and be like, oh, the arm is like broken and stuff. So, yeah. And then when I put it together with the arm, I just have to make sure the black glove piece goes underneath all of this conduit tubing pieces that stick out. And yeah, when I close it, like I said, I like to put this part kind of like under my arm, and then the rest of it kind of just sort of sits like this. So yeah, this is essentially what the broken arm looks like when it's like hand mode, and then it can like extend the blade out, and then the whole thing can just swing out as well. Honestly, this claw might be my favorite part of the costume, even though there's another claw in the chest, and that claw is also super cool, but like, I don't know, this like, I don't know, storable claw thing, it might be my favorite part of the costume. Okay, now we'll just take a quick look at the, this piece. And yeah, I kind of just wanted it to be like a mini skirt sort of situation. I originally used the Clamrock Freddy pieces for the legs and lower torso pieces, but I did modify them a bunch. I actually saw this cosplayer do this super smart thing, which made me feel so silly that I hadn't thought of it before. But essentially they made basically shoulder straps to keep it up. And like what I used to do for my Springtrap one, it was mostly just friction and one clip on the back. And as Springtrap, the costume, got older, the elastic on the back side of him got really worse. So now when I wear it, it kind of sags a bunch. So I might honestly go back through and add like these shoulder straps to the Springtrap one as well, because it just works so much better. But yeah, so this piece does come apart. It's got quite a few clips in it, so it connects to all of the other pieces like the legs. And then for the torso, there's like a slight lip right here where it kind of like sits in and slots in a little, not like connects like via magnets or anything, but it just sort of sits there so that it kind of fills the gap. But I'm still able to rotate my torso with it. And yeah, so this bit right here is all like loose fabric, and then it's just connected to some EVA foam pieces underneath, and it just sort of droops over for the whole thing. It goes around the back as well. I did add a booty. You can't really see it at all, I don't really have an excuse for why I gave her such a dump truck. But yeah, at least luckily with the little mini skirt, you can barely see it. More of just like a thing to go along with like the robot being like an adult woman. But yeah, so the left leg is the one I wanted to be basically completely destroyed. So I took part of Glamrock Freddy's leg, redid the top half, broke it a bunch, made it look all cracked and destroyed, and then pretty much just did the rest of it out of like pretty much out of the entirety of my conduit tubing collection. So like I used to have this huge drawer full of conduit tubing that I would just use, and this thing pretty much took all of it, along with the other leg a little bit on the bottom side, but we'll get to that in just a second. Yeah, it took pretty much all of it, and I really wanted it to not have as many gaps as some of my other costumes. Kind of like how Springtrap's legs are similarly broken at the bottom, but there's only like 5 metal pieces on Springtrap, and you can essentially see my leg inside of it anyway, even though I'm wearing like black morph suit underneath. But with this one, it's like completely filled, and then it goes a little bit past my ankle just so that with the feet they kind of like seamlessly crunch together, so it's like you can't really tell there's an ankle. Now the other leg. This one is on the right side, so like I said, with the right arm I wanted it to be more not broken. So she's got her whole upper thigh piece is completely unbroken. I added a couple extra pieces of fabric to make it look like there's panels, and then right there I added a bit of like oil dripping out. And I don't know, I think I really like adding like oil and like black weathering to my costumes and things now. I don't know what it is, I just think it looks better personally. And yeah, it just really adds to the aesthetic. So with this one I did break the bottom of it to kind of be like shattered, and then I did the same technique to connect it to the foot, where it's just kind of a bunch of loose pieces that kind of go past the length of my ankle. And then for the joint area, I added some conduit tubing on the back side because it is flexible and can bend just fine on the back. And then on the front, I added some conduit tubing as well, but I had to use some elastic pieces to attach it so that it wouldn't come out and like hang out the wrong way. So like when I bend it, you can see there's pieces there, but it's actually stretching the elastic it's connected to on the inside. It's really hard to see, so I'm just gonna explain it this way. So basically you can see it stretches up and like fills that gap whenever I bend my knee. So yeah. And yeah, so now I'm going to do a little montage of me putting on the whole costume and kind of just walking around being spooky. So if you enjoyed that, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more stuff like this. I will be the first to admit I do procrastinate a lot, so my upload schedule is next to non-existent right now, but I do have a lot of really cool projects in the works, like my new mini episode of When Fate Comes Knocking Chapter 4, An Echo in the Void. Here's a cool clip. Anyway, here's the rest of the video.
Did I catch you off guard?